Well, hello, everybody. I am Sophia Lane, Cabrillo Unified School District Governing Board President. I'm here today with Dr. Sean McFetridge, our superintendent, to share a little bit with you about what's going on in our school district here on the San Mateo County coast side. So to start, as a bit of context, who are we? That's the first question probably to think about. And really we think about our students first and foremost. We have almost 3,000 of them from TK actually through grade 12. Nearly half of them are socioeconomically disadvantaged, about a fifth of them, mostly in the earlier grades, are English learners. We have 9 schools that we have to support these students, from pre-K school, elementary schools, middle school, high school, as well as an adult school. And to support all these students, we have just over 300 employees. So what we think about a lot at the board level is one of our main accountabilities is making sure that we stay financially solvent and focus our resources on our priorities. So have a snapshot here on the left. You can see a bit about our spending and revenues. We try to align as much as we can. And we show here also the different sources of our revenues. We have anywhere in any given year from a $35 to $40 million budget. Operating budget. Much of that comes through a formula called LCFF, which is a state thing here in California. Much of our funding goes towards staffing. The vast majority is typical for school districts, 85 to 90% usually. And we have other sources of revenue that we're very grateful for. Primarily, of course, our property taxes and other state funding, and also other local resources and some federal resources as well. So in that fiscal responsibility, we aim to focus those resources on our 3 key priorities, which here at Cabrillo Unified are academic improvement, a focus on equity, and sustainability. So for more on that, I will turn it over to Dr. McFetridge.
Thank you, Sophia. A lot of times I think I'm called to just talk about, what it means, what the big picture is, so what. And for us, 3 years ago, I presented to the board 3, big ideas, pillars, I think, of all school districts. And those really are academic improvement, focus on equity and sustainability. As far as academic improvement, of course, this is what every district is, and every school and every classroom should be focused on, which is how are we getting students to be college and career prepared? The focus on equity is aligned with that. If our goal and our mission is that every student, every child, every day is getting prepared for college and career and life, we need to be able to look at data. We need to look at lived experiences of these students and their families, and we need to provide services and programs to help them become college, career, and life ready. And that's why we operate a preschool, our 4 elementary schools, our intermediate school, our 2 high schools, and our adult school. And then sustainability is something that came up 3 years ago also on a financial level, but also on an operational, environmental level. We take great pride. We have an environmental committee. And we've made a lot of moves toward sustainability, but it's not just environmental sustainability, it's also financial sustainability. So I'm going to talk a little bit about academic improvement. You heard me talk about early childhood education. We know that we need to make investments. We've received grants. La Costa Adult School is the end point, but Los Listos, the ready ones, is the beginning point for early childhood education. And we offer preschool through that. We know that we need to have more seats in preschool and are looking at improving those services. And we really think this is important for families who need preschool options, but also for students who need to be literate and ready to enter transitional kindergarten and kindergarten. You'll see there an English master plan, a district-wide TK5 curriculum. In the past, we had different curricula, different textbooks in our elementary schools. Now that is district-wide aligned. We have one curriculum and it's new and current. And we have an English and language development, writ large master plan for the district. You'll see modernized science, enhanced math curricula. That's the work we're doing right now. We have not had a science textbook adoption in this district for elementary in many years now, and we are getting piloting science textbooks and hope to have those soon, and math curriculum, math textbooks for our secondary schools, the middle and high schools. Visual Performing Arts Master Plan. We have a visual performing arts master plan that the board approved last year, and we have added more arts and music instruction into our elementary schools than ever before, working for Music for Minors and Arts in Action. So thankful to those organizations and to the families and the staff who help support visual and performing arts in all those early grades. Gardening and agriculture education on all campuses. We think this is a big piece to sustainability, but also about science. It's an integrated, hands-on living science curricula. We're so thankful to our HEAL project partners and through our LCAP, our local control accountability plan, we dedicated funding so that that garden education could be on every elementary campus and not just 2 campuses based on PTO funding as that happened in the past. So we were happy to partner with HEAL Project to do that and to take some load off PTOs from having to pay for that. And finally, career technical education, CTE, workforce training, expansion, citizenship, and diploma classes. Again, this is the end of the continuum. We are looking at students when they're in middle school, in high school, up through adult school, trying to figure out how they can get new career skills, career awareness, and be trained for the workforce so they have life that prepares them for college, career, and life. And citizenship, we offer that through La Costa Adult School and a great partnership with Coastside Hope. And so we do have citizenship classes for those who are trying to get citizenship, and we have diploma classes at La Costa Adult School. I'll take a breath here. Sophia, do you have any questions for me on that, or shall I move on to focus on equity?
No, I think you summed it up. From cradle to career, we're working to help our students and our community. And I think you're going to speak now a little bit about our work to target those who need it most here on the coast side.
I thank you for bringing it back to cradle to career, from soup to nuts, from alpha to omega, beginning to end. It is a focus on college and career readiness, life readiness. And what we have focused on here through our equity statement is making sure that we know that with regard to staffing, diversity, and supports, key peak performance indicators that we are looking at through our human resources lens is how do we get more people hired that have the same experiences, backgrounds as our students. With a Latino majority population here, it is a explicit goal of ours to have, if we can, more teachers that have the experience as the kids. And this is something that the state of California is really trying to work on, and the county, the grand jury wrote about. This is something, a goal that most districts are working on is diversity in staffing. And so we're really happy about that on the administrative level. There's work to do to recruit more teachers, and it's a complicated issue, but we are continuing to have staffing diversity as a big focus for us, because equity isn't just about children and families, it's about our staff also. Workforce housing exploration, we have been working over the past year with Brookwood Advisors to consult with us, and we do sort of have initial plans sort of vetted with the city of Half Moon Bay and are working with them on their housing plans, but we do want to deliver a plan to the city council and to the board and the public on how we could build workforce housing here on the coast for staff, support staff, faculty, so that we can recruit and retain employees. When it's so difficult to live on the coast, when it's so difficult in the Bay Area to pay for rent or to buy a home, this is really a strategy that a lot of districts are using now, is building workforce housing. We are expanding our extended learning, our after school, our tutoring services, and the facilities that house them. The Eagle Club at Hatch is an example. We already had at El Granada, the Dolphin Club for after school, but we continue to work with different kinds of partners to provide after school programs in all our elementary schools, of course, with our partners, Boys and Girls Club at Cunha for after school activities and sports. And so we just continue to look at that. Integrating dual immersion special education in pre-kindergarten and transitional kindergarten. Again, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make sure that we have inclusion of different language speakers, mostly Spanish here on the coast side, almost predominantly Spanish speaking. And then this last year we were able to have a transitional kindergarten that was in dual immersion Spanish English TK, we'll look if the numbers are there this year for that, but we are trying to make sure that we are including learners and not excluding them, not pulling them out, whether it's special education or other languages other than English being spoken. That goes to speak to English language development, integration, and expansion. We're very proud in the past few years, we've shown results with ELD coaches on how to better serve our English language learners. And so we keep hoping to expand that and improve the skills and develop our professionals so that we can get folks reclassified as English speakers. Ethnic studies, the state has a requirement that we provide ethnic studies. Very pleased and proud of the work that the high school has been doing. They will start that in the fall of 2023. And the Heritage Months is something that we've been doing since 3 years ago with a Hispanic Heritage Month, an LGBTQ History Month, African American History Month, Asian American Pacific Islander, Jewish American Heritage Month. I know I'll forget some of these months, but Women's History Month. We are trying to make sure that we spotlight and created banners with the partner of the city and different affinity groups to sort of like make sure that schools are teaching to the histories of all kinds of people that are represented in the United States and California. Dual enrollment at the college level, we did sign on with a CCAP agreement, community college agreement with the San Mateo Community College District and our partners in College of San Mateo, and are offering college credit classes on the high school campus for high school students to take, and we're talking about extending that also to Pilarcitos also in the coming year, hopefully, and maybe also to La Costa Adult School. And then we are in the throes, just to cap this, about a focus on equity. We are actually in an equity audit, working with focus groups, working with students, working with families, working with staff to look at data and to figure out how we can use that data on equity and the different outcomes for differently situated students to then have strategies that will feed the strategic planning. And that should come in the fall of 2023, I think, for us to start talking about those strategies. So there's that column there for you, Sophia.
Great, and thank you so much. I think both of these pieces, I think, are really critically important, and I appreciate that that our school district has taken a very foundational approach to addressing these issues, not only in terms of providing certain add-on programs, like you mentioned, the Eagle Club, there's tutoring at Half Moon Bay High School and kind of additional services, but also really looking foundationally at what we do and how we do it, and looking at curricula, schedules, what's included, basic kind of integrated programs, even with dual enrollment being integrated into the coursework that students are doing at our high schools. Thinking about early childhood education as like foundational to all further education, I think has been really, really important. So tell us a little bit about sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of referenced this earlier, but part of this is financial sustainability and financial management, looking at the enrollment, how many students we serve, making sure that we are staffing appropriately, staffing efficiently for that. We will be looking at boundaries to make sure that we have balanced enrollment across the schools so that they can run efficiently, looking at student outcome, data analytics and reviews, basically to decide, okay, where are we placing our bets? If we're spending a lot of money on something but not getting a yield on that, I hate to sound like a banker about that, but on the other hand, we do need to use data to sort of say, hey, maybe that money would be better used for something else toward the mission of equity and academic improvement. You'll see there that's a facilities master plan. When we joined the district, the facilities master plan was rather stale and dusty, and so we got our master architect, QKA, back with us, and did that because we wanted to make sure that we could get appropriate estimations for the modernization that was so desperately needed, is so desperately needed at El Granada Elementary and Fairlawn View Elementary School. So now the board has approved those plans. I think it's 22 million at Fairlawn View for phase 1 and phase 2, and then 25 million at El Granada, with another 20 million probably established. We're waiting on the estimates on that for El Granada for phase 1 and phase 2. But you'll also see here on that little section, Campus solar power. Anybody who drives by Hatch Elementary, you'll see there are new solar panels, and PG&E, waiting on PG&E to light to hook those up for us in the next month or so. Also Cunha, we are about to put solar panels on top of the event center. Very exciting, big footprint, all to try to start with a vision of getting every campus closer to net zero. There are efficiencies that we've been talking about, and this includes, for example, LED lights, the lights that turn off, looking at heating and HVAC controls, water filtration, low flow sinks and toilets. Lots of efficiencies that we've been looking at over the years. Grants come and or using bond dollars to try to save money from our operational costs in our general fund by using that bond so that we have more money to spend on programs and services and wages. Security, we've installed security cameras over the past few years, worked with school site councils to determine those spots. We think that's a good thing. But other improvements might include, will include perimeter fencing, because, we've heard about concerns from families and from staff. Most schools now have perimeter fencing, so we are planning perimeter fencing with the modernization of the two elementary schools, El Granada, Fairlawn View, and we have fence plans for Hatch. Cunha's fence just happened and has really made that much safer campus, but also more secure campus inside, easier to monitor. And then you'll see there, our goal is to get the Fairlawn View and El Granada groundbreakings happening this year in 2023. Now that we've got contractors bidding the jobs, we'll see how that goes. You'll see other parts of sustainability include waste sorting and water reclamation. I have to chalk it up to Half Moon Bay High School and their environmental science class, and Joseph Santoni in particular, one of their teachers, who has worked with us to, along with board members, to create a environmental committee that meets regularly and talks about different things that we can do to make us more responsible stewards of the environment and the coast side. This included waste sorting. Until a couple of years ago, there was not tri-bin sorting for trash, recycling, and compost. And now on every campus that is happening. Water reclamation, you'll see cisterns, water barrels. We're working on trying to capture water and have ideas on grants on how we might be able to do cisterns under the ground to collect water to keep us from having erosion and collect some of the water that we're getting in rainy time during a drought. And then the environmental sustainability dashboard, I would encourage everybody, just go on the website. You'll see all the environmental strategies sort of laid out there. We had a great intern at the HEAL project who worked with us, Matthew Spiegelman, and he has really made a fantastic dashboard that can tell the public and tell staff and tell students, this is how much money we're spending, this is how much energy we're using, how much water we're using, et cetera, et cetera. And so these strategies that we're doing should be able to be tracked to see what's working and how can we improve. The Safe Routes to School is fantastic, for example, to see that the new bike and walk path is finally getting finalized up there to El Granada, connecting Half Moon Bay all the way to El Granada Elementary School. And we worked with the county to give them an easement so that they could build that and construct that, and it wouldn't be on our dime, it wouldn't be our liability. And we think that's really great if we can get more students and families walking and biking, pedaling, rolling to school, what have you. And we are also working with Safe Routes to School and have been working with the county at Fairlawn View to talk about stop signs in that community, working with Mid-Coast Council, working with Carlene Foldenauer, Safe Routes to School, to talk about Hatch, making that safer, looking at Lewis Foster Drive at the high school. This is a lot of work, but that is part of our sustainability, making sure we have safe routes to school and healthy routes to school. Mental health and wellness initiatives. During COVID, I mean, a lot of focus got brought to social emotional learning, social emotional wellness, and we have a great group of counselors, psychologists, marriage family therapists, all run and supervised by Martha Ladd and Caroline Morton and Susan Vanna, coordinating not just our mental health, but our medical health. And so I've been very pleased with their work on focusing on that. And finally, tech devices, software security. We are working on new student data information system that should be better for staff and for families. new software, trying to get rid of old software that didn't work so well and get new software that works better. And of course, technology devices became ubiquitous during COVID, but we're trying to figure out, okay, what is the best platform that we all can use and what the expectations are with regard to a district standard, and how we can provide the technology we need to provide teachers and students in the 21st century for, again, academic improvement and a focus on equity.
Great. Thank you, Dr. McFetridge. I really appreciate how so much of what you're discussing here today is relating to supports for making those classroom learning experiences really successful. And I think that's the foundation of what academic folks might call multi-tiered systems of support. It's another acronym in education, so I hesitate to refer to MTS as too much. But it is a principle that we need to have systematic supports in place so that what happens in the classroom between the teacher and the student, teacher and a group of students amongst themselves can be really maximizing their learning opportunity, both academically and socially, emotionally, as you've described as well. So I think it's really testament to our staff across the district that that we have such a thoughtful initiative in place, and we'll certainly through the next several months of strategic planning continue to enhance that. But not only with our own internal folks and our students and our families is this happening, but our local partnerships, we couldn't do this without them. So there are just a smattering here of who those are, from our PTOs and our local foundation, Cabrillo Education Foundation, to the indispensable Boys and Girls Club of the Coast Side, our nonprofit partners, ALAS and Coast Pride, HEAL Project, who does some of the programming for us in our classes as well. City and have Half Moon Bay, of course, the county's San Mateo County Office of Education, and as well as other departments in the county from health and others, and our Coastside Chamber of Commerce. So many more that wouldn't fit on this slide, but we just wanted to thank everybody.
I'll just say, we have officially got a community hub approved, an MOU, a community hub by the governing board. And I will say several of these partners right there at the top: CEF, Boys and Girls Club, Ayudando Latinos a Soñar, ALAS, core partners in that effort. And we will open up a community hub, just won a grant from the state for a community school effort. And we are hoping, I just want to say that back to the multiple tiers of
Multi-tier systems.
Multi-tier, yes.
It's a mouthful.
You know the acronym better than I do.
I've been practicing a lot.
There you go, MTSS. When we talk about multi-tiered supports, right? These are the pillars of our community. We work with these folks, all these folks. These are the pillars of our community. We could not do it without these partners. It's the partnerships that give us strength. Boys and Girls Club, of course, Cunha, after school sports and after school. What would we do without them? And I could go on and on about all these partners, but I do think it's emblematic that we're actually building a physical place, a community hub where all these folks can come together to provide services to families and services that they may need that they might not otherwise be able to afford.
On campus, opening soon. Thank you so much. And I just want to say a thank you to our community. And just invite folks. Certainly, we just try to address a little bit of a highlights of what's going on in our school district these days. But I want to have an open invitation for folks to give a call to Dr. McFetridge, or drop either one of us an email, and we can connect and chat more. We're pretty excited about what we're doing. We have a lot of work to do as well. And so we're constantly looking to make sure that we can get there.
Well, I just appreciate the board and you, President Lane, for supporting and inspiring all this work. A lot of work has happened, as you could tell from that one slide. Thank you for getting all those things. I had like 20 slides, truth be told, that Sophia got on one slide. Thank you for that. And thank you to all of our staff, all our community partners, all our students and families, and to the governing board. We are doing a lot. We have done a lot. There's a lot more to do. And I look forward to all the work we can do together to better serve the community. So thank you, Sophia. I would love to do this kind of thing again with you again. I look forward to it if we can do it again.
Amen. Thank you to our students first and foremost, and thank you to our community as well. We'll talk to you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.